Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
It should be noted that Welcome to Night Vale is not a creation of my own. I am simply sharing my thoughts and comments on a podcast that I enjoy. Thank you, and please have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone's doing alright, hope everyone's having fun, and I hope the universe is treating you fairly. We are diving back into Night Vale, seeing how our boy Cecil's doing. After the lazy day we had in the last video, we'll see what this one is. This one is episode 36, Missing. I'm pretty sure I forgot to give the title and stuff in the last video, which last video was 35, Lazy Day. So, already up to 36. So, without further ado, let's get into this.
Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky at night, the sailors are howling and laughing. The sailors begin to surround us, and the night sky is so very red. Welcome to Night Vale.
Yeah, gotta talk through this thing. Don't have anything really interesting right now to fill up this music, so the copyright algorithm leaves me alone. So looks like we're gonna fade out here in a sec.
Listeners, I hate to start our program off with sad news, but our new station owner, Strex Corp, handed me a missing child alert right as I walked into the studio. Strex Corp is asking Night Vale citizens to be on the lookout for Tamika Flynn, age 13.
Yeah, Tamika, we got more of her wisdom in the last episode.
She is described as 5'1", stocky build, black hair, and dark eyes. Dark. So dark.
Like my soul.
So wise beyond time. So deep in their understanding that to gaze into them is to gaze into your own death. It is...
yeah. I've met people like that.
It's not important where she was last seen or by whom. Why do you need to know that? Why are you asking so many questions? You are taking valuable time away from important and highly fulfilling work at your place of employment.
Got a point.
The missing child report reads. Strex Corp asks that anyone with any knowledge of Tamika Flynn's whereabouts should contact Strex Corp headquarters by picking up a phone and talking. Don't worry, you're not hard to find.
Yeah, that's the state of the country right now.
I asked my new supervisor, Daniel, why it's Strex Corp that is issuing a missing child alert and not Tamika Flynn's family or the sheriff's secret police. But he just started shaking and sparking and humming.
I've had supervisors do that when I've asked them questions, especially about the last 4 to 5 years before I retired, because they didn't like my questions. When somebody in their mid late 40s asks somebody in their early 20s a difficult question, they tend to do that, shake and start sparking.
Then the hallway got too cloudy and I couldn't breathe, and my show was starting, so I left him alone. He's still standing at the studio window, staring at me, twitching, sparks subsiding, but his mouth has fallen open.
Yep, like I said, I've had supervisors that do that exact same thing in TDC when I've asked them questions.
Revealing, is that motor oil? Tar? I don't know. But it's going to be hard to concentrate if he doesn't leave. Let's go now to the community calendar.
Love community. Well, I love community calendar, traffic, and the service announcement, the in-universe advertisements rule a whole lot.
Tuesday, there's a false start. A mistaken understanding of time. Tuesday, we will wake and walk to our normal places. Our showers, kitchens, cars, desks. Only to find the day never began.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I've had days like that. Actually, I've had whole lifetimes like that. So yeah.
We will slowly notice an absence of all matter, all light, all time. And then as suddenly as we false started, we will begin our actual day. And everything...
I'll be honest with you, especially in my 20s, my more chemically adventurous days, I had days like that.
will happen the same. Only, because of our awareness of it all, it will happen differently. Less differently at first, but more differently later. Wednesday will take forever. Forever.
But don't Wednesdays just normally take forever? I mean, just observation on my point.
Not literally, but very near literally. Ugh. Wednesday hasn't even gotten here, and I already want it over with. Thursday, a faint outline of a dull face will appear in the dark as you try to sleep. You will notice its blank stare, its straight, expressionless lips, its thick brow.
Yeah, once again, hearkening back to my 20s, in the last decade of the 1900s, and more, like I said, my more chemically adventurous days.
And the subtle hint of slow, collected breaths. It will seem to be watching you, curious about you, as if it were not from here. It is not from here. You will lock eyes. You will barely be able to make out the face's humanoid features, but you will know, deep down, it is not human.
Yeah, that would be kind of spooky, especially sober. Think about how freaked out you would be seeing that sober. I mean, somebody who wasn't sober would probably freak out a little bit, and until they realize, oh yeah, I'm impaired.
Not human at all. What does it want? You will think. Probably nothing. Let it go.
It may just want your soul.
Get some sleep. Friday is an open house at the Night Vale Community College. Thinking of furthering your education? Considering taking winter semester classes? Well, it's a trap. Do not go near the...
Oh, I just wonder how many, I just like that, it's just, I wonder how long or how many times I had to film that without breaking, record that, I should say, not film it, record it without just cracking up just because the it's a trap. And I think of the Admiral Akbar in Return of the Jedi.
Night Vale Community College this Friday. Ha! Nice try, giant worms. But we know your tricks.
Yeah, they live out in the desert. They live in the Night Vale's in the desert. And they got giant worms. And all this crazy shit happens. Makes you wonder if one Mr. Frank Herbert wasn't involved in the founding of our Night Vale city, town, village.
Faking a community college open house is very obvious, don't you think? I mean, it was a nice touch, creating a fake press release to get into various news outlets like ours, but we see through you. No, we really do.
Uh-oh, transparent giant worms.
Your skin is translucent, and it's kind of gross. No offense. Saturday, everyone is their own person. You
Hey, that's a good thing to have happen.
are free to disregard others and recognize yourself as one for once. Pour some wine. Draw a bath. Light some incense. And grab a city-approved novel. It's your time.
Of course, it has to be city approved, and I figure at some point, in reality, they're going to have to be government approved, as in federal.
Sunday will be full of regret, also joy, also laughter, also conversation, also long stretches of unmemorable moments.
Though, that kind of strikes a thing. When you're growing up, you put like clothes in dresser. Like if you're in our household, you usually washed your own clothes and dried your own clothes and this and that, and you hung them up, what have you. But do you have any clear memories of doing that? Let's think about that for a moment. Do you have any, or like cleaning your room, making your bed? You did it, but do you have any clear, defined memories? I don't, and if you do, leave it in the comments, because that's just kind of fascinating.
It will mostly be that last thing. In your old age, as you look back on your life, if someone were to ask what happened on that Sunday, you remember that one Sunday with the regret and joy and laughter and conversation. If someone were to ask you that, you would be hard-pressed to come up with a single memorable moment from this coming Sunday. This has been the Community Calendar.
At least they warned you, let you know what was going to go on Sunday.
An update on our missing child report. We just received word that 13-year-old Tamika Flynn is not missing. This word came from Tamika herself. Witnesses said they saw Tamika standing atop the pedestal of one of this town's most historical works of art, the 138-year-old bronze statue of actor Lee Marvin.
You gotta love it, because I don't know, is Lee Marvin still alive? I might have to look that up. I don't know.
Just outside the Night Vale post office. Tamika told a gathered crowd that she was not missing. She has never been missing. She clarified that she has always been where she has been. She has always been from where she is from.
And I can respect that, because I think we're all kind of like that.
And she will always be going where she is going. Witnesses reported that Tamika had a canvas tote bag full of heavy stones over her left shoulder, a worn-out copy of Willa Cather's Death Comes for the Archbishop in her right rear pants pocket, and that she was still holding the severed head of the librarian she defeated so valiantly in August.
Let me see. This aired December 1st, 2013. So, yeah. Back in August when she first showed up. Ooh, yeah. Imagine that head is kind of ripe by now.
Saving our town and all of the participants of the library's treacherous summer reading program. As yellow helicopters began to approach her, Tamika shouted to the gathered crowd to stop looking for her. I am found. I am found. I am found. She repeated dramatically, rhythmically, the crowd swaying and moved by her homiletic passion.
Makes you wonder why StrexCorp wants to know where she's at.
Stop looking for me and find yourself. She was last heard, crying over the crescendo of helicopters landing. The remaining crowd, still singing her phrases, still undiluted, inadvertently blocked the StrexCorp agents from reaching Tamika before she disappeared in plain sight.
Now that is a skill that is worth perfecting. I've pulled it off several times in my life before, and it has always paid off when you can pull it off.
StrexCorp has issued, just moments ago, several dozen more missing child reports. They say children keep going missing, and they bet that if you find one specific child, one specific, very determined, and difficult child, and they mean that in the best possible way.
Because they always do mean that in the very best possible way.
If you find that one child, you will probably find all of the missing children. StrexCorp is asking that if anyone has seen Tamika Flynn to contact them immediately. She is a missing child. And shouldn't you care about that? Shouldn't you care about the children?
Yeah, that old road to fascism starts with, what about the children?
StrexCorp asked. Children are the future, they added. I wish you felt the same way and would help us find this child, they stammered, looking slightly agitated.
I imagine so.
More on this soon. Let's have a look now at traffic. There's a man. Imagine him. He's leaning on a fence, shirtless and weary. He seems wise near the eyes, but his impatient feet suggest insidiousness.
Ah, it's always in the feet.
He's marked with dried mud, and maybe some very deep but quickly healing cuts. From the tree branches, most likely. Or perhaps the birds.
My money's on the birds. Watch too many Hitchcock movies.
Okay. I'm not telling you the whole truth. It was definitely the birds.
See?
Imagine these cuts and scratches, dry and brittle now, but tender to the touch. He is certain he did not offend the birds.
Yeah, I've got some... From playing with the cats, I've got something like that here and then here on my hand. From playing with the cats, they're about healed up, but they're still relatively tender.
But he is uncertain whether his complacency was construed as equal to said offense. Picture this. Picture the man leaning on the crisscrossing metal wires. waiting. The birds are gone, but other things are coming.
Demons, devils, clouds, storms, trees, squirrels, rabbits. You know, the usual for Night Vale.
He doesn't know specifically what, but he knows it'll come for him. You know this too.
Probably the bunnies.
Because I have told you. The man says nothing.
Of course he doesn't. He doesn't want to give up his position.
There's never not something that has been displaced, marginalized. There's never not something that, when feeling pressed to the wall, to a place with no room left to run, gathers its numbers, gathers its forces, and turns savagely on its oppressor, turns viciously.
On its oppressor.
And without inhibition even on those who merely look like its oppressor. Do you catch my meaning?
Oh, yes.
Can you imagine the scene I am explaining?
Yep.
How much of the world makes sense to you?
None.
What does it mean to be a hero? To be a human? The man thinks about his heart.
You know, that kind of reminds me of I can't remember. I think it's a Buddhist saying I read years ago. It says, you don't have a soul, you are a soul, you have a body. That the whole, if you look at what he's describing in kind of a metaphysical sense, you know, philosophical sense, it kind of jives.
It beats normally. Earlier, it did not beat normally.
Uh-oh.
Think about your own heart. Is it beating normally? Listen. I'll give you a long moment.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
How is your heart? Do you remember the man? The one on the fence, shirtless and scarred, with the normally beating heart? He's not real. Take him out of the story, but leave the story. Take him out, leave the story.
Yep. That could be fun to try and do as a thinking exercise.
Do you catch my meaning? Do you?
Yes, I do.
This has been Traffic. And now, a word from our sponsor.
I love these. And I think I say that every video.
Deep, deep, deep in the grass, grass, grass. What grows, grows, grows. Who knows, knows, knows.
Love this music.
Strex. Strex Corp Synernists Inc. Working hard so you can work harder.
Sounds like every single supervisor I ever had in my working life.
Work harder. Seriously. Work harder. Strex Corp. Get to work. More now on the missing children story. Several helmeted and sunglassed helicopter pilots have stepped forward to announce that they had nothing to do with the missing children. Sheila Nowitzki, a pilot for one of the many black helicopters that are routinely circling Night Vale, said she's a harmless spy from...
Harmless spy? All spies are harmless. Or most of them.
from the world government. and would never harm an American child without a direct order. Marco Padilla, a pilot for one of the many blue Sheriff's Secret Police copters, said nothing, but you could see in his face he meant no harm to our kids.
As secret police usually do.
And a shadowy haze that claimed through telepathy to be the pilot of one of the mysterious helicopters with elaborate murals depicting birds of prey diving, admitted that while their helicopters were the ones that took away all the children in Night Vale several weeks ago, they brought them back. They brought them back, okay? And they're fine. Get off of me, the humid gray haze emphasized.
Yeah, get off his neck.
God, you take a bunch of kids one time. One time! Jeez. Listeners, today I want to talk to you about the dangers of deer.
Actually, if you live out in the country, they are quite dangerous, especially at night when you're driving an automobile.
Are they beautiful? Yes. Are they graceful and picturesque, even borderline majestic beasts? Yes, yes, and yes. And are they helpful to the community because real estate agents live inside of them? Of course.
That's amusing. I love when they throw this little, they describe, and throw something like that in there. That's great. The real estate agents living inside the deer. It's kind of great.
But deer are also dangerous creatures. They are terrible, deceitful, and vile animals.
I blame that on the real estate agents.
Not being mean, this is just basic science. Look, I know deer are cute and friendly looking. We all remember adorable little Bambi.
Oh, yeah. From what I understand, Bambi's pretty tasty.
From the classic animated movie, with his sweet voice and white freckled rump. But we also remember the bloody end that he wrought on the humans at the end of the film. The graphic beheadings and trees streaked with gore during the famous revenge-fueled climax. The lesson of that movie, as in life itself,
is kind of crazy.
Is that nature is gorgeous, and it is horrible, and it will kill you.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what nature does. It's pretty much what everything on this planet's designed to do.
This has been the Children's Fun Fact Science Corner. This just in. Oh my. Some disastrous news. Quite terrible. There has been a helicopter crash out by the old car lot. Witnesses report here.
Not the old car lot.
Bring youthful shouts and screams, followed by loud metallic clanging. They saw smoke trailing across the cold, dark afternoon sky, because of course, the sun again did not rise today. They saw a yellow mangle of metal and rotors and,
Yeah, definitely sounds like a helicopter crash.
Listeners, Daniel is still standing at my studio door. He has stopped staring. He is now yelling, but without noise. He looks very upset.
That whole silent scream. I can't remember the movie. There's a movie, it has Ringo Starr in it. And there's this thing about acting, and they go, and Ringo Starr is practicing these different faces. He's like, and the guy he's talking to is like, "What are you doing?" He's trying these faces. He goes, "And the silent scream." So yeah, that's what that kind of reminded me of.
I can read his lips. He is saying, turn it off. Shut it down. No more news today. We are shutting you down. They're going to turn off my microphone, Night Vale. I've locked the door, which will buy me some time while Daniel goes to find a security guard with keys. So, let me take you now, for as long as it can last, to the weather.
Now we take this break for the weather, as we always do. Because of the copyright algorithm, it gets really weird with music and songs and stuff like that. And I encourage you to find Welcome to Night Vale wherever you get podcasts at. I got some places down in the description box below. And check it out. Like I said, listen to the bands. There's some great music. There's some funny, hilarious songs. These bands produce other songs other than what's featured in Welcome to Night Vale, and they're really good songs. Plus, it adds to the atmosphere of the podcast. So, we'll come back after the weather. Okay, we are back from the weather. Let's finish up and see what's going on.
Listeners, I do not know if you can hear me. I am only trusting that I did this right. I wired my phone into the soundboard and then wired the soundboard into the radio tower, which is running on auxiliary power. It's a cool trick my childhood best friend Earl Harlan taught me back when we were in Boy Scouts together, earning our subversive radio host badge.
Hey, that is the badge that I would love to have gotten when I was doing the whole Boy Scout thing growing up.
I doubt Daniel or any of the news station management can hear me, as they do not like listening to radio shows. Also, I'm hiding up on the roof with my makeshift studio. During the weather, I got word from some witnesses at the helicopter.
And now, I like the added effect of the wind in the background, like he's outside talking on a cell phone. It's kind of cool.
Accident. The sheriff's secret police found several large slingshots and heavy stones nearby that matched in size and shape the dents on the helicopter's engine casing. They also found a well-worn and heavily notated copy of Death Comes for the Archbishop by Willa Cather. Inside the book was a bookmark marking page 267. On that page was the underlined phrase, "I shall not die of a cold, my son. I shall die of having lived."
Which is a pretty cool line. I may have to check that, see if that's a real book. The thing with Welcome to Night Vale is there's a real good chance that it's something they made up for the series, or something they made up for, or something that's real that fits in real well, because the people that write the show and act in the show, do the voices and stuff, are fairly educated people, really educated people. They have better education than I do, so it's possible.
And on the bookmark was a handwritten note. It said, "Your pilot is fine. She is ours now. She will return when she is ready, but she will return better. T.F."
Aha! There we go.
I do not know if that T.F. stands for our missing girl, our brilliant and bold and missing girl. If station management is listening, I, of course, hope we find Tamika Flynn and bring her home safely. I hope that she will find you first.
What?
Remember what I said, listeners? About the traffic? About the birds? Think on that. Think on lots of things. Think about heroes, and whether we should even need them.
I don't know. You got Tamika Flynn.
The answer is, we do not. I sometimes wish I could tell you more, but I cannot. I cannot tell you everything I think you should hear because it is boring. Or it is unnecessary. Or it is very necessary, but unapproved.
Unapproved by the radio people. By management.
There are many reasons I cannot always tell you what I want to tell you, but the main reason is that you need to find it out for yourself.
Kind of reminds me of the Tom Petty song Last DJ, which is a real good song, by the way.
I could preach and teach and shout and explain, but no lesson is as powerful as the lesson learned on one's own. You can do it. You don't need old Cecil telling you what's happening.
Now I wonder if that sound in the background is wind, wind blowing like he's up on the roof of a tall building, or if it's like water of a waterfall. It's hard to tell. Or at least for me it's hard to tell.
In town. No. I just report the news. I just arrange it. You figure it out. You learn from it. You take action.
And that's the role that proper news is supposed to take.
You create the meaning. It is all up to you. And given my current broadcasting situation, it may be up to you for a long time. I better get back downstairs before they discover what I'm doing. Stay tuned next for silence, self-reflection, and a long pause to hear yourself think. Use that silence.
Always use the silence to think.
Well. Good night, Night Vale. Good night.
Well, that was a great, not great. Yeah, I guess you call it. It was great. It was a good episode. It was a great episode. I really, really enjoyed it. The last couple episodes I really enjoyed. Beautiful Dream, Lazy Day, Missing, Yellow Helicopters cassette. Yeah, just been some bangers just here lately. Just boom, 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 boom. Just checking all the boxes. So, let me go ahead and wrap this up here. And until next time, everybody, remember, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?